Most people know multiple sclerosis as a disease of the nervous system. We talk about damaged nerves, muscle weakness, vision problems, and loss of coordination. But hidden beneath those neurological symptoms is another system working constantly behind the scenes, one that many people rarely think about until something goes wrong. That system is the lymphatic system. Unlike the heart or lungs, the lymphatic system works quietly. It doesn't have a central pump, and most people never feel it working. Yet this system plays a critical role in immune defense, fluid balance, waste removal, and inflammation, all processes directly connected to multiple sclerosis. And that creates a fascinating and important question. If MS is driven by the immune system, what role does the lymphatic system play in the disease itself? Today, we are exploring the complex and often overlooked relationship between multiple sclerosis and the lymphatic system, and why this hidden network may hold important clues about how MS develops and progresses. To understand this connection, we first need to understand what the lymphatic system actually does. The lymphatic system is a vast network made up of lymph vessels, lymph nodes, immune cells, and lymphatic organs such as the spleen and thymus. Instead of carrying blood like arteries and veins, lymphatic vessels transport lymph, a clear fluid containing immune cells, proteins, waste products, and excess fluid collected from body tissues. The lymphatic system acts as both a drainage network and an immune surveillance system. It removes waste, filters harmful organisms, transports immune cells, and helps maintain fluid balance throughout the body. Unlike the circulatory system, which has the heart as a pump, the lymphatic system depends heavily on muscle movement, breathing, and body motion to keep lymph flowing properly. This means that movement and immune health are deeply connected. The reason this system matters so much in multiple sclerosis is because MS is fundamentally an immune-mediated disease. In MS, immune cells become misdirected and mistakenly attack myelin, the protective covering surrounding nerve fibers in the brain and spinal cord. For many years, scientists focused primarily on the nervous system itself. But more recent research has highlighted the major role immune regulation and lymphatic pathways may play in disease activity. Immune cells do not randomly appear inside the central nervous system. They travel, communicate, and migrate through complex immune pathways, many involving lymphatic structures and lymph node activity. The lymphatic system helps regulate how immune cells are activated, transported, and controlled. When immune regulation becomes abnormal, as happens in autoimmune diseases, lymphatic and immune dysfunction may contribute to ongoing inflammation and tissue damage. One of the most fascinating discoveries in recent years involves the brain's own lymphatic drainage system. For decades, scientists believed the brain lacked traditional lymphatic vessels entirely, but researchers later discovered specialized lymphatic vessels surrounding the brain, known as meningeal lymphatic vessels. These vessels help drain immune cells, proteins, and waste products from the brain and surrounding tissues into the lymphatic system. This discovery completely changed how researchers view communication between the immune system and the central nervous system. In multiple sclerosis, these drainage pathways may influence how inflammation develops and resolves inside the brain. Scientists are now studying whether impaired lymphatic drainage may allow inflammatory substances or immune signals to persist longer, potentially contributing to ongoing neurological damage and disease progression. Inflammation remains the central link connecting MS and lymphatic function. The lymphatic system normally helps regulate and calm immune activity by filtering immune cells and coordinating defensive responses. Movement limitations caused by multiple sclerosis may create additional lymphatic challenges. Unlike blood circulation, which relies on the heart, lymph flow depends largely on physical movement and muscle contractions. Every step you take and every muscle contraction helps push lymph fluid through the lymphatic vessels. When MS causes weakness, fatigue, balance problems, or reduced mobility, lymph movement may slow down as well. Reduced lymphatic flow can contribute to swelling, heaviness, tissue congestion, and impaired waste removal. Some patients may notice swelling in the legs or feelings of tightness, especially if mobility becomes severely limited. Although lymphatic swelling is not considered a primary symptom of MS, reduced activity and impaired movement may indirectly affect lymphatic efficiency over time. The relationship between the lymphatic system and fatigue is another growing area of interest. Fatigue is one of the most disabling symptoms of MS and often feels far more severe than ordinary tiredness. While fatigue primarily results from neurological damage and immune activity, chronic inflammation also places a heavy burden on the body. The immune system requires enormous energy when it remains constantly activated. Inflammatory chemicals circulating throughout the body may contribute to exhaustion, weakness, and cognitive fog. Because the lymphatic system helps manage immune activity and clear inflammatory materials, researchers continue exploring whether impaired lymphatic regulation may influence fatigue severity in certain MS patients. The lymphatic system also plays an important role in infection control, which is highly relevant for individuals living with multiple sclerosis. Some disease-modifying therapies used to control MS intentionally suppress or alter immune function to reduce inflammatory attacks on the nervous system. While these medications may reduce relapses, they can also increase vulnerability to infections by affecting normal immune defenses. Lymph nodes and immune cells remain central to protecting the body against bacteria, viruses, and other harmful organisms. Patients receiving immunomodulatory therapies may require careful monitoring for infections, vaccination planning, and immune-related complications. A balanced diet rich in antioxidants, fruits, vegetables, and anti-inflammatory nutrients may support immune regulation and reduce oxidative stress. Although no diet can cure MS, lifestyle habits that reduce inflammation and support immune balance may positively influence both lymphatic and overall health. Stress introduces another important factor into the MS lymphatic connection. Chronic stress affects both immune regulation and inflammatory signaling. Prolonged psychological strain can also weaken immune balance and reduce motivation for healthy movement, hydration, and self-care. Because the lymphatic system and immune system respond to emotional as well as physical conditions, mental health becomes an important part of comprehensive MS care. Researchers continue exploring whether therapies directly targeting lymphatic pathways may one day play a role in multiple sclerosis treatment. Current MS therapies mainly focus on suppressing or modifying immune activity, but future treatments may involve improving immune regulation or enhancing communication between the nervous and lymphatic systems. The discovery of brain lymphatic vessels has opened entirely new scientific questions about how inflammation spreads, how waste is removed from the nervous system, and how immune responses might be controlled more effectively. While much remains under investigation, these findings represent an exciting frontier in MS research. Ultimately, the relationship between multiple sclerosis and the lymphatic system reminds us that MS is far more than a disease of nerves alone. It is a complex condition involving immune dysfunction, inflammation, communication breakdown, and whole body effects. The lymphatic system sits at the center of many of these processes, quietly influencing immune balance, waste clearance, infection defense, and inflammatory regulation.